There is more legal trouble for Britney Spears. Now she's facing up to 6 months in jail for hit and run while driving without a license. The troubled Pop-Tart accused of damaging a parked car, then driving away. So how could that charge impact her child custody battle? We're joined by family law attorney Sharon Liko. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so, and this isn't some huge accident. She's in a private parking lot. She apparently bumped into a car. The person who owns that car claims it was damaged. She drove away. How big is that?
Not big when it comes to the child custody world. If she didn't have any drugs or alcohol problems, people wouldn't think twice about it. I mean, there was no injury, there was no accident, her kids weren't with her. That's the least of her worries. She's got some big trouble because of her drug and alcohol issues. She is a train wreck, and her ship is sinking fast.
Now, if you go into court, and she will be, apparently there is a former bodyguard who is now coming up with the bombshell testimony against her, saying that he walked into a hotel room one time and it was littered with, with drugs and drug paraphernalia. She had fired the guy. Do those type of witnesses tend to have much credibility with the judges if they have been fired?
If the guy is credible in and of himself, then being fired isn't really going to be a problem. Obviously, if his testimony is motivated by being fired and he's lying, but he has a lot of detail to offer, and a person that has detail in their testimony, that he's usually telling the truth. This guy had a myriad of examples of times when she was drunk or she was on drugs and she was incoherent, and she would take the kids and hand them off to the bodyguards or her assistants because she couldn't handle it. She wasn't even present mentally. So I think his testimony is going to be a killer for her.
And then if you're the judge, you're sitting there looking at these two parents. Neither of them seem very stable. Both of them are always reportedly out partying at bars. Yet judges are loath to keep children from their parents. They have already said, look, you can keep the kids, but you just got to have drug testing. How far do you have to go, basically, off the line for them to pull the visitation?
Well, I'm surprised at this juncture that she doesn't have supervised visits, because there's been more than one occasion where she has had the kids and she's been drunk or she's been doing drugs. The judge has her on random UAs. She has to have a parenting coach, which I don't know that that's going to help. They're sort of meaningless in a lot of ways.
Well, they're both having. They both have to have the parenting coach. He has to have.
Only she does. They both have to be alcohol and drug-free,
right,
12 hours in advance. She's subject to random UAs, but I'm surprised she doesn't have her visitation restricted in a supervised setting. But I'll guarantee you she'll violate the UA. She'll have a negative, dirty UA probably within a couple of weeks, and at that point I would expect her visitation to be restricted or suspended until she goes through alcohol and drug rehab again, and possibly supervised visits.
Well, we certainly hope for the kids' sake that there is some parent that can take good care of them, and I guess we just have to wait and find out if they either of them get it together. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time.